So what is the future of MDM, master data management? Well, if I were to answer that question in one word, it would be adaptive. What does that really mean? Well, adaptive really acknowledges that context matters, right? So for a long time, we've known that the way that marketing looks at the world is different than the way that finance looks at the world. The optimal data model for marketing is slightly different than the data model for finance. The governance policies are different, and the way they look at hierarchies is different, and we've always acknowledged this. Yet in legacy forms of MDM, we've tried to enforce a single model that all of those groups need to adhere to. Now, that single model may make great sense at a senior level executive, within the C-suite, at higher levels of the organization. But it may not make as much sense at lower levels or functional levels of the organization. Great way to look at this is most companies exist in three levels. There's functional, there's cross-functional, and then there's enterprise-wide. Forever and ever, MDM has supported that enterprise-wide use case, and that's a valid use case, and we need to keep doing that. Because if the CEO asks, how many customers do you have? There's really only one answer to that question. However, at cross-functional levels or functional levels, adaptive MDM, the future of MDM, recognizes that you can have different answers to those questions, and that's okay. I can have a customer master model for marketing that is maybe defined differently or structured differently or has different attributes than a customer master model for finance. So it's being able to do both. It's not just this one-size-fits-all, top-down, heavy-handed approach to MDM, which is kind of the way that we've always done things. Adaptive MDM takes into account the idea that context matters and you can have multiple versions of the truth, multiple data models. Another way to think of this is instead of the business adapting to a master data model, you have MDM adapting to the business needs, right, that are highly flexible, that are changeable. And this is really, this idea of businesses need to be more adaptable is really a response to the last 3 to 4 years, right? What we learned through the pandemic, what we learned through the supply chain shocks is that those companies that can change, that can pivot, that can adapt, that can be disruption proof are the ones that are going to survive and thrive in this brave new world of data management, in this brave new world of business. So the future of MDM is highly adaptive. There are other things that could go into being more adaptive and changing how we kind of persist master data, being able to allow MDM hubs to manage and master data where it sits and connect to data sources instead of collecting all the data, instead of putting it all into a hub. Maybe we just start connecting to data where it sits and matching data where it sits, which will drive new levels of scalability and flexibility. Maybe it's about having data governance applied, not only within an MDM hub, but also within source systems. So there's a lot of different things that we can do and new ways of thinking that align to this adaptive MDM that will drive incredible levels of value and scalability and flexibility that we just never realized before in the past with MDM.